Morning. It's Thursday, October 12th. This morning I'm going to try to avoid to talk about the war in Israel. And that's a difficult subject to avoid, given the fact that it appears on the front page of almost every paper I try to read. And in any event, there are horror stories that are going on, and I found them hard to believe, so I checked. And I found the same stories on more than one U.S. paper, and I found the same kind of information on the Times of Israel. So I believe the horrors that are going on in Israel right now. I believe the butchering of the children and the burning of families really took place. And I believe that no matter what your beliefs are, Hamas has proved to be an evil organization, an extremely evil organization, because there is no excuse for their behavior. Yes, they have a tough life in Palestine and in the Gaza Strip, but let us look at the situation correctly. Their government has not attempted to do anything for the people in Gaza. Have they attempted to create jobs or create a situation for the people in Gaza that is livable? No, their one and only cause in life is to get rid of Israel, to get rid of the land that they believe belongs to them. And so the situation there has been caused 99% by Hamas and their behavior. Because if you look at the West Bank, which is not controlled by Hamas, while they have problems with Israel, they have not gone off the wall. And so one has to look at this thing properly and understand who is the evil party in this conflict. And it's not Israel. By no stretch of the imagination is Israel the evil party in this conflict. And I have to say that over and over and over again because I see members of the young generation in the United States marching against Israel. And I think that is in the Jewish term, shanda, a monumental shanda that we have people in this country who haven't done their homework and support Hamas. So I'm going to go on to another topic. I've already spoken longer than I thought I would on this particular issue. But it bothers me. It bothers me that we have people who defend Hamas living in our country. But I probably shouldn't be surprised about that because of the shape of our country right now. So I've said my piece on Israel this morning, and I found this interesting story that involves a local man, somebody who actually lives in Comac. And this is a light-hearted story, but evil in its own way. So let me tell you about this gentleman and what he has been up to for I don't know how long. This Long Island gentleman has been indicted for smuggling protected bird-wing butterflies. He labeled shipments as decorative wall coverings and origami papercraft to conceal the wildlife contents of these packages from the authorities. Now, this is a 6-count indictment, which was unsealed on Tuesday in the federal court in Brooklyn, and it was charging Charles Lima with conspiracy to smuggle wildlife into the United States. Now, smuggling wildlife into and out of the United States and violations of the Lacey's Act prohibitions of falsely labeling and trafficking in wildlife is a federal offense. So this man, Lima, allegedly trafficked numerous deceased specimens of protected butterflies, commonly referred to as birdwings, because of their exceptional size and angular wings and bird-like flight. and Lima will be arraigned later on. And the United States Attorney for the Eastern District of New York and the resident in charge of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service in the Valley Stream Division announced the charges. I didn't even know that we had such organizations on Long Island as a component of the larger government officials who watch out for our wildlife. Now this gentleman Lima, he ran his business. He was importing and exporting and purchasing and selling wildlife, including the protected species. And in 2016, Lima Business obtained a license to import and export wildlife, the Fish and Wildlife Service. And that service suspended his license in October of 2022. Now, I didn't even realize that we have such laws in place for the importing and exporting of wildlife. And the wildlife we're talking about here are not alive. These butterflies are not alive when he's shipping them all over the place. But the U.S. law and regulations require that commercial importers and exporters of wildlife have a license and declare wildlife to the Fish and Wildlife Service. But apparently, our good friend Lima wasn't doing that. And these rules apply to dead and live wildlife specimens, as well as the parts of these specimens. So you can ship a part of a dead butterfly or whatever species you choose to ship. I don't know what this means. I don't know what the offense really is going to be. I don't know how much he's going to go, what these things, but the value of these items were over $200,000 worth of shipments. And these were deceased wildlife specimens. So I guess if you're an insect collector or a butterfly collector or whoever collects these things, they're valuable to you. And his actions were noted as screwing the Federal Wildlife Service. And this indictment also requires that Lima forfeit over 1,000 butterflies, moths, and other insects that he has allegedly been trafficking illegally. And this is a 75-year-old gentleman who lives in our neighborhood. He lives in Comac, New York. How about that? So I leave you with that. It's an off-the-wall story about a man who's shipping butterflies and making lots of money doing it, and doing it illegally since 2022. A change of pace from the major catastrophes that are going on around the world. Take care. See you tomorrow. Bye.